My girlfriend became a Tumblr dominatrix in secret. So my girlfriend and I, both 23 female, have been together for 4 years. We're doing long distance right now, but are hoping to start living together sometime in a couple of years. Overall, our relationship has always been healthy and stable with no major issues. But we got an issue right now. We have an unintroduced guest in our midst. Riley, do you want to do the honors?
Yes, this is Sophia Domina. She was raised in a conservative Christian cult, a virgin until 26, and married to a 40-year-old virgin, nearly 12 years of marriage. She knew almost nothing about spicy sleep until she broke free to explore her true nature. Today, she is celebrated as the ultimate Los Angeles dominatrix beyond the dragon. She is a filmmaker, journalist, novelist, and event producer. Her book, Domi and Dahmer, chronicles her incredible life journey.
Thank you for coming on, and I'm excited for you to give your perspective on this very relevant story.
Okay. I'm excited to give it because sometimes I have the best times actually sessioning with couples.
Oh, really?
I love to work with couples.
Okay, I'm excited to understand what that means. So, by the way, this comes from Confident Parsley 26. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sam.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
All right, let's get into it. So, unfortunately, we're somewhat incompatible spicy sleep Yuli, which is our stand-in because TikTok doesn't like when we say bad words. I'm good with only twice a week or so and pretty vanilla, while she's a bit more adventurous and would do it every day if she could. This has never been too big of a deal. She's never made me feel bad or force me and always reassures me that I never have to feel obligated. I've always been very clear that I am purely monogamous and never want an open relationship. Well, several months ago, she got into writing erotic fan fiction, which I was totally cool with. I thought it would be a good hobby for her. But more recently, she started talking about spicy Tumblr posts, specifically women-loving ones, where people have Tumblr blogs and write posts about their spicy-related fantasies and things like that. Hopefully, I'm explaining that right. I'm not too familiar.
She's trying to
with
gateway
Tumblr.
it.
Yeah, wait, so is Tumblr known for that kind of content? Do you know, or have you ever explored that?
Look, if you need that in your life, you'll find it anywhere. You'll find it in Google spreadsheets.
Yeah.
If you're looking for it.
The internet just surfaces it.
Yeah.
Anyways, she showed me some of these posts and asked if I would be okay with her also starting a blog like that on Tumblr. I said sure, because I thought she just meant she would write little posts that a whole bunch of people can see about her spicy related fantasies and such. I'm seeing a little ICU. I feel like there might be more than writing coming up, but we'll see. So she's had the blog for a couple of weeks now, and we were video chatting yesterday, and she mentioned that she had made a friend through her Tumblr blog, and they'd been chatting via direct messaging. I thought nothing of it. And a while later in the call, she said, "Can I tell you something kind of weird? I actually started being a dominatrix for that girl I was telling you about." Okay, I'm going to stop right here really quick. What do you think about that communication?
I think it's honest and brave. As we all know, if you've ever been in any relationship and you have a secret, fantasy, desire, it's really hard to be honest with your partner for fear of being shamed or for fear of being, abandoned. So kudos to anyone who does bring up their true desires.
Do you think it could have been done any better? Because it sounds like she had already started being a dominatrix for someone before she told her partner.
Look, let me ask you the reverse on this. Yeah. Is this boy, this male partner, also telling her every desire that he has and every interaction that he has?
I'm not sure. I think we'll find out the rest of the story. So I was stunned and asked her what exactly she meant. She said that through direct messaging, she tells the girl how to hurt herself and how she can get herself off spicy sleepily, and also casually dominates her by telling her when to go to bed, reminding her to eat, take her meds, and threatening her with punishment if she doesn't. Kind of sounds like a workout coach, like a good trainer.
Yeah, life coach.
Yeah. Like, do you see in being a dominatrix, do you see there being a crossover between life coach and doming?
Yeah, sometimes you're controlling people in totally non-spicy ways.
Like what?
Like that.
Really? It's like, you better go to bed on time.
Yeah, I'm just being like a mean mommy.
Yeah. Ooh, fun.
Yeah, everyone got excited just now.
No.
I think I looked really hurt. And she said, wait, is that not okay? You told me you were okay with me starting a blog. But when she asked me to start a blog, I thought she just meant writing posts that were sent out into the void and that were shared with a bunch of people on Tumblr. I didn't think she meant she would be engaging in private conversations with another individual, which was spicy sleep related in nature.
Would this be considered like emotional cheating then?
What do you think?
I think that's up to them to decide.
Yeah.
He's communicated that he's hurt, and now they have to talk it through. What
Yeah.
are the actual boundaries?
Yeah.
If she crossed a boundary, is it a deal breaker?
Mm.
Or is there more understanding he could have? And sometimes men are like, oh, it's another woman.
Yeah.
I don't feel threatened by that.
Yeah.
Whereas another man, they would.
Yeah, which is interesting. I feel like I've heard that often in especially like monogamous, like hetero relationships. That is a thing that comes up. Is that a thing that actually comes up a lot? Like, do you ever like talk couples through that?
Not that specifically. The couples that come to me, though, sometimes one of them wants to be dominated and the other one isn't dominant. And so they're like, well, let's get a professional in here. And because they want their partner to have what they want.
Yeah.
Even if they can't deliver it the way they want it.
Interesting.
So that's what I would ask this couple is like, okay, your girlfriend is saying she has this desire. Maybe it's a need. She's expressing it this way. Is it really threatening?
Especially if there's open communication. I feel like a relationship is only threatened when communication closes. And so if you can have open communication through like a relationship transition like this, maybe everyone can have what they want and get their cake. Aren't they two women? Yes, they are two women, says Shen TKCW. Also, if you have any questions for Sophia, who is an actual dominatrix, please ask them in the chat and we can answer them later. So she immediately started crying and saying that she didn't want to hurt me. But honestly, I do feel hurt. I kind of feel like she cheated on me, even if that wasn't her intention. She said that she doesn't get off on dominating the girl, that she just finds it fun and not spicy, sleepily arousing. She said that in her mind, she doesn't have a spicy related or romantic relationship with the girl, but I'm not sure I totally buy that. It just feels really intimate for someone to not only tell someone else how to get themselves off, but also to take care of them and remind them to take their meds and things like that, which I feel like this question is the perfect question for you. Do you think you can like separate that intimacy from the job?
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
How?
Because think about a massage therapist or a psychologist or any job where you're actually connecting with another person. Doesn't mean you have romantic feelings for them. And I understand what she's saying about the dominating, not getting her off in a spicy way.
Yeah.
Like she's getting off here. And that she's getting to flex her power muscles where women usually don't. And she's like, oh, wow. And this woman loves it. Maybe there's some satisfaction in like that it is a woman and not a man. She's helping a woman have her fantasies fulfilled too. It could be a whole feminist thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that it compares at all to her relationship with her male partner. I
love that answer. And I want to get into like some of your specific experiences too after the story, and we'll have plenty of time for that. Sunny says, this is giving me ideas. I'm sure you will get a bunch more ideas by the end of this episode. So this was about 24 hours ago. And since then, she's been really upset and crying a lot. It's gotten to the point where I'm now comforting her and apologizing to her. She keeps saying that I always come first, but she really doesn't want to stop doing this domination thing on Tumblr. She mostly seems concerned that I might think the behavior itself is weird or gross, or that she's weird or gross for doing it. I don't think either of those things. I don't like to judge people's spicy habits, but I do think it was kind of wrong of her to engage in that kind of relationship without my expressed permission. Would you agree or no?
I agree that his feelings are valid. And if she wants to preserve the relationship with him, they've got to find a compromise here. If he wants a partner who's fulfilled, he's got to find a compromise.
Yeah. And I think probably I don't think engaging in any of this behavior is wrong. I think where it becomes gray area is like if you start doing something your partner is uncomfortable with, or you think your partner would be uncomfortable with, without first talking to them. But like you said, I mean, like a lot of this work is very therapeutic. Is like it can save relationships. Like you said, like if your partner can provide something, like maybe you can have someone in the relationship that can provide that while also maintaining the relationship that you do have.
Right.
Because like people are can't necessarily like one person can't necessarily provide everything to another, and I think like often that is the pigeonhole that we get in relationship dynamics like today.
Yeah, and if the relationship can bend rather than break, then this outside source of inspiration and fulfillment can actually be preserving to the relationship. But if people just keep things secret and they're secretly miserable, eventually they'll leave.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure what to do or think. I told her I need a few days to think about whether I'm okay with her continuing or not. She said she understands, but she immediately started writing up plans/compromises for her to continue engaging in the relationship. She also asked multiple times whether I was okay with her continuing in the relationship or not. So I imagine continuing being a dom. Even though I told her I couldn't answer that question at the moment, frankly, I really don't want her to continue with this behavior. I know she would stop the relationship if I asked her to, so stop being a dom, but I'm really scared that she'll resent me for it or grow bored of me, spicy sleepily, in the future. Does anyone have any advice how to move forward and how to navigate my thoughts in this situation? Is there anything I should consider while thinking about the situation? Or if anyone has any perspective on where she might be coming from so that I can better understand her side of the story, I would really appreciate it. I want to be very clear that I am not against the 50 Shades of Grey Club, open relationships, as long as all parties are consenting. But I do think that people engaging in this kind of thing outside of the relationship should get permission from their partner first. I just feel really hurt that she started engaging in a relationship of a spicy nature, whether she believes it to be spicy or not, without telling me first. So again, to everyone who is just popping into chat, we have an actual dominatrix with us today that's going to help solving these questions.
An actual dominatrix.
An actual dominatrix. I am in a gimp suit. I may get whipped later. Who knows? The stream is young. But I guess like I would love, because you said you've worked with couples before. Have you ever like helped someone through this kind of transition? And like, could you like speak to like what that has looked like in the past to help this person out?
I've helped myself through this transition.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a partner who was there before I became a dom.
Really?
And we had to navigate these exact issues. But the couples that have come to me, they're more seasoned.
Yeah. Well, can I hear a little bit about your transition? Because like one, like what kind of relationship dynamic were you in before you discovered dominant?
I was traditional. I was in a religious cult, so I had like a very, very boring, spicy sleep life. I'm gonna be good and not say it. And then coming out of that, I just had so much to explore about myself. I learned that I liked women. I learned that I had this dominant side that had never really been expressed. But I still have like parts of me that are very traditional.
Yeah.
And these things can coexist.
Yeah. I mean, you have like I think people contain multitudes of different parts, and like they all want to be expressed in different ways. Like the idea that we are like one personality or one kind of person all the time is just like not true. There's like I don't know, IFS. I imagine you've done like a lot of like therapist kind of research and stuff, but like there's like a lot of great therapeutic frameworks that kind of like talk about this exact same thing. Yeah.
I think with couples and this one in particular, like why is this threatening? Is it just the lack of communication, going past the boundaries or the safe zone, or is there something about her being dominant that now
that
feels...
also threatens the relationship? Which I mean, like when you have someone that kind of like comes into their own, it can upset the initial dynamic, right? Because it's like that other partner might have to give a little bit of dominance to that person, which is So when you like, how did you discover doming?
I found myself on a date with a dominatrix.
Whoa.
I didn't know that when I agreed to the date.
Yeah.
But by the end of the date, we were just at this bar, like kind of sharing all of our, romance and spicy stories. And she like leaned across the table and she goes, "You're a baby dom." And I didn't know anything about that world, but I knew.
What does that mean?
She knew that I had an alpha personality that was like ripe for learning how to control and express it.
Whoa. And did she kind of like Give you the ropes?
Yeah, she became my mentor.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, I
wrote a book about it.
I want to. What's the book called again? Just
Dom and
so
Dahmer.
That's awesome, Dave. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Sophia's experience, but going back to the story a little bit, like how would you what advice would you give based on your experience to like help in this transition?
If he's confused about why she wants to do this, he needs to ask her what her motives are. Maybe she can be vulnerable with him and say, when I was a kid, it was this, or when I was growing up, I learned this, but I didn't get to express it. And maybe she's expressing it now because she feels safe with him. Like maybe there's a silver lining here. Maybe he's satisfying so many of her needs that she feels free to now like touch this other part of her soul that's been like neglected.
Yeah.
Like this could be a relationship building process for them.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like letting someone explore all parts of themselves can like usually only be good for the relationship, or it's like maybe the relationship is not actually good for the person, and the chance to let someone be free to explore all parts of themselves, and like wouldn't you want that for the people like you love?
Exactly.
But we're gonna get into the next part of this story. Is this next part a part 2?
It should be an update, yes.
Okay, so we have a little recap of the story in a part 2. And just before we get into the recap, we got a few messages from chat. Intuitive Empath says, this is an interesting topic. The Thomas says, is Sophia a professional dominatrix? Wingle says, Sam! Yes, I'm back. I was wearing a mask in the beginning. I took it off because it is hot. If I look red, is because this is not a very breathable suit. Why is it not breathable?
Well, it's designed for suffering in a way.
Okay. I'm suffering for the podcast. You're welcome.
You also have a shirt and very little air circulation.
Yeah, it's true. I'm doubled up. Edith Gonzalez says, are there any resources you have that might teach someone who is more of a brat to become a good dom? It's something I'd like to try for potential and maybe being into dom ladies, but I can't see it. Basically, where can someone like learn more about what it takes to be a dom?
There are resources like books. There's a book called The History and Arts of the Dominatrix. I recommend that. Another local dom has a book, Damiana Chi. She writes about the different dominatrix archetypes. Go visit a dominatrix, especially if you're thinking about doing this with a particular person. Go let someone show you the ropes, and a dominatrix will do more than just the physical. They'll guide you through the intellectual.
Yeah, so Holly Stein, and again, we're going to get into this update in a sec, but Holly Stein says, my husband and I have been married for 20 years, and I've wanted to ask him to try some more S&M, which is what?
Sadism and masochism.
Okay, but I'm afraid to ask him, how do I approach him? Do you have any ideas of how to approach? And I also imagine hiring someone professional could help with that.
Yeah, I think make the approach fun. What is the reason or what is the inspiration for you? First of all, why do you like that? Maybe your partner, if introduced the same way you were, maybe they'll find it tittillating too. Was it a book, a movie, an experience you had with someone? And then also, what is your approach? When do you talk about it? You want to be relaxed, in a good mood. Don't do it when you're stressed out about other things, because it's a big topic.
Yeah, and I feel like a reaction for a lot of people who have been in more traditional relationships, if you were like, hey, I want to try a dominatrix, would be am I not enough for you?
Yeah.
How do you feel like you navigate that question?
That's a normal response, whether it's I want to see a dominatrix or I want to be a dominatrix or any kind of desire that's not fulfilled. And that's why I say, first of all, approach it with vulnerability. And then secondly, learn things together. We have these cliched stereotypes about what it means to practice these things, right? That it's someone must hate themselves and love pain, or maybe they're a sadist. But domination can be nurturing, it can be mothering, it can be discipline. So you've got to first pinpoint what it is that you actually desire, and then your partner should want to learn about it too. Read and study it together.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Side note, everyone is saying 50 Shades is a terrible example, and
is that true?
Absolutely, it's a terrible example.
Yeah, wait, why is it a terrible example?
Go deeper. If we're trying to get into this world, go deeper. There's a lot of indie films that deal with dominance and submission, because it's not always like the fact that you put on a gimp suit, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe it's the fact that one person is always taking charge in the relationship. And so you can look at it as more of like an alpha beta dynamic. Like, or maybe the person who's always in charge in the relationship, when they get into the bedroom, hopefully I can say that word.
Yeah.
When they get into the bedroom, then they want to switch.
Yeah.
So like if you examine this from a motivation perspective, then it helps you to really come together and not be like, oh my God, my partner wants something I can never be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think most people want a balance of like, masculine, feminine energies, like give and take. Like, I think that is kind of one of the paths to happiness is like being able to embody both like surrender and control.
Well said.
And I think like being able to explore that, I think actually allows you to express more of what it means to be human. And I feel like a lot of people don't think that based on your gender or whatever, like you need to fit into one of those categories. And I think that's just like such a limiting belief of like how one can express.
Our personalities don't really have to do with gender. Think about how many, bossy women and more submissive men there are, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And sometimes the problem or the fear that male partner may have is like, oh, if my partner is a dom, does that make me a sub? And they're thinking, how do I look now?
Yeah. Or like, does that threaten my masculinity?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into the next story. If you guys have any other thoughts or feelings about the last story, please let us know in the comments below. So this is a new story. My girlfriend wants to be a professional dominatrix. My 25 male girlfriend, 24 female, and I have been together for about a year and a half. And while this isn't the longest time, we both feel our relationship has been fantastic and really something special. When I first met her, I learned she was formerly a professional dominatrix. And I'm not into that stuff personally, but I have no problem with it. She told me about the stuff she used to do, and it was intense, really intense. She never pushed it on me, and we've always been able to talk about it openly without any awkwardness. And by the way, this comes from Complex Koala. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. A few times she's mentioned that she might someday be interested in getting back into it, both for the money, which is fantastic. Is that true?
It can be.
Nice. And because she really enjoys doing it, which is the more important reason. I've never really thought of it as cheating due to the nature of it, and I've told her honestly that I'd be okay if she got back into it. And today, she told me that she decided to get back into the business and has just started setting up sessions. Again, I feel like, based on what we kind of said from last story, it's important that if you want to ensure that your relationship is respected, before any like big change like this that your partner potentially could be uncomfortable with, like get, enthusiastic consent on that, right?
Yeah, of course. And I think she did that, and there's still more they're going to have to discuss.
Yeah.
What happens in the sessions? Does he need to know?
Yeah.
And she just keep it confidential and there be a level of trust that's understood? There's a lot of factors. But I think that people should just kind of zoom out and say, you know what? People start relationships at work all the time. This is not different. Just because someone pays you to dominate them doesn't mean you have any attraction to them at all. Sometimes it's quite the opposite.
So I'm curious, I'm curious what the difference in boundaries are for dominatrixes. I imagine they vary widely. And I'm curious, how you establish those, and if you have any of your own, what they are.
Yeah, all DOMs do. And usually on the website, they'll say what their specialties are and what they don't do. Because, men will ask for everything.
Yeah.
And they'll try to push your boundaries too. And it's perfectly okay for one DOM to do something and another to say absolutely not. As long as it's legal and ethical towards that person and towards yourself, then why not?
Okay, I got to ask, what are your specialties?
I am mostly considered a mommy dom, a nurturer, disciplinarian, and most often a queen.
Yeah. What does that mean?
People come to worship.
Okay. Can you what?
Yeah. Can we see that?
Oh God.
Can we see a little bit of that?
Oh, would you like to worship?
Well, I was seeing if
Sam it sounds like you.
You're ready for it.
Can you tell me what it looks like? I'm already getting red.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
I see that. I love that.
But can you tell me a little bit what that would look like?
So for me, it could be domestic services. If we were at my place, I would have you doing some dishes, some chores, scrubbing the shower, probably in women's panties.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun. It's kinky.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So I take on the role of the queen, and then my servant comes in, and then I do weird things to them.
What do you do?
Like maybe while they're cleaning the shower with panties, they get spanked. Or maybe they have to get on all fours and crawl across the room.
Yeah.
When they make my perfect dirty martini, I'll make sure I can balance it on their back and kick my feet up, treat them like an object.
Do you have like multiple working for you at the same time?
Sometimes.
Like a stable?
I don't have a stable. People always ask me, how many? And like, honestly, I'll sometimes not have a personal submissive because I haven't found the right one.
Yeah, because like any relationship, there needs to be like a certain level of like chemistry, or maybe chemistry's not I don't know if chemistry's the right word, but like compatibility.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, bring him in.
Oh, I like where this is going.
What are those for? I was told that you asked for grapes. What does that mean?
I forgot that we talked about this.
Yeah.
I forgot that we'll put a pin in that.
We'll put a pin in it.
Coming back to this.
All right.
During donations.
I like this as a tease, though.
I was so concerned.
What do you guys think we're gonna do with these grapes? Where are they gonna go?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So it's like dynamic needs to serve both parties.
Yeah, and I call my place Dompton Abbey. So I'll be here all day with the puns. But
I love that.
So if they're not servicing my space, they might be servicing me personally.
Yeah.
So I teach them foot worship to start.
Okay.
So I'm always getting a great foot massage. If we do have chemistry, they might be allowed to kiss my toes. And then we go from there.
Crazy. That's so cool. Okay. I'm going to keep reading the story. So today she told me that she's decided to get back into the business and has just started setting up sessions. She asked me again if I was okay with it, and I told her I was, only I'm not so sure if I am, which I think is like a common question or a common answer where it's like maybe I need to see how I feel. Like it's like you kind of need to see how you feel in the moment, because often you know before you jump off the cliff you don't know how the air feels on the way down, right? Like, and I think that's like an important test.
Yeah, this is something that's an ongoing navigation of, oh wait, when you did that one session, I felt a certain way because I was out of town. But then the other session you did was fine because I knew it was a trusted repeat client. Yeah. I mean, there's so many variables.
Yeah, and I think like that's what's cool about testing the boundaries of anything is you get to understand like what those boundaries feel like and like which boundaries make you feel safe, which boundaries don't. And I think like you know, a lot of people say like, oh, like, you know, you test the boundaries, you could ruin your relationship, blah blah blah. But like the boilerplate of you know like a heteronormative relationship like doesn't work. It's like 50% of marriages end in divorce, right? So it's like you testing it can often improve or at least strengthen a relationship. And you don't necessarily have to accept a boilerplate relationship if that doesn't work for you. Well said. I want to support her, but I'm having trouble separating that part of her life from what we have together. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to satisfy her S&M oriented needs. So I'm happy that she'll be getting that from somewhere else. So S&M, sadomasochism, as you said. And can you just explain what that term means really quick?
Yes. Sadism means you enjoy inflicting pain. Masochism means you enjoy receiving pain.
Noted. So I'm happy that she'll be getting that from somewhere. And I know that if I mention that I'm uncomfortable with it, she'll call the whole thing off, as in the relationship.
Whoa.
So this might, I mean, I don't know if you know that. I feel like, again, like, have a conversation and see if that's true. But yeah, I think through conversations you can understand what the boundaries are.
Yeah, the partner that supports you when you're striving for the thing that you want most is someone you highly value. But if he's sensing that she really just wants to be single, that's another issue.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be it.
So I really don't want to do that to her. So I'm considering just pretending I'm okay with it and hoping that I'll become okay with it. Any advice? We have another story after this, but what is your advice? The last thing, again, what he said is I'm considering just pretending I'm okay with it and hoping eventually I'll become okay with it. What advice would you give on that as a professional dominatrix?
They need to do a really fun session together. Like, just play like kids, because that's what kink is. Like, put on the suit, get the grapes out, not knowing what's going to happen.
What is going to happen with these grapes?
You're going to feed me.
I'm going to feed you?
You're going to feed me.
Like right now?
No,
Okay.
when I say. When I say.
Deal. So like what do you think a couple session would look like that you think would allow them to explore some of these like in a healthy way?
Just make a safe, comfortable, inspiring space to just play. You just say, "Hey, let's get some toys, like be a kid again, but in an adult way with the spiciness, and establish some boundaries. You could do a safe word, but be like, I want to try some new things.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's some things that help you relax, whatever that might be, and say, I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to be the master, the director first, but then I want to switch and see what you do."
Yeah.
But the thing that scares us is the unknown. So take some of these scary boogeymen out of the sphere of the unknown, try to relate and understand, and then you'll be like, oh, this isn't cheating.
Yeah.
This isn't a threat.
Yeah.
And it might take time. You got to be patient.
Yeah, especially depending on what kind of I think depending on what kind of background you come from, you know, it can be, I imagine being in like the religious context, like that is a very constricting cultural context to come from. So it's like, you know, understanding how to navigate that might be more difficult for someone than someone who like brought up with like a more free flowing context, right? So it's like everyone's going to be a little bit different. So great advice.
Thank you.
We have another story, but let's read some. Whitney, thanks for the $5. There's a guy that went around online buying feet pics, and I sent sample pics to him once. He just emailed me today, 14 years later. What? About what? Does he want more?
Those feet.
Yeah, those feet.
Number
maybe
one fetish.
You really in
Yeah.
the world?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you understand why?
I definitely understand why.
Wait, why?
First of all, there are 7,000 nerve endings in the feet, which is double the nerve endings in the male part.
No way.
Yeah. So the feet are very sensitive to pleasure. So for the receiver of foot worship, it's amazing.
But when it comes to like, you know, feet pics, the person's not receiving them. They're just looking at them.
So why the fetish? Why do men love women's feet? Well, first of all, it's like the lowest body part, right? It's dirty. Walk around with these things. So when a woman has beautiful, elegant, well cared for feet, it can be as attractive as a face or her hands. But also worshiping something lowly means that person is just like dripping with desire for the other person.
Yeah.
That's
like
how
if
much
you were to like if you were to desire feet that much, like imagine what the rest of the desire would translate to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also love women's feet. I had a fetishist partner and I didn't know what any of that was about. And then because of his worship of my feet, I started looking at women's feet and I'm like, oh, I get it.
So is there like, what is the best way to worship someone's feet?
Communication, first of all. Do they like that?
Yeah. Like what? Like what is that?
Do they even want their feet
worship?
touched?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I teach a foot worship class.
No way.
At my events. Yeah, there's technique. But start with communication.
Could you give me just one pointer? My girlfriend's in the chat right now.
Oh.
So Allie, get ready for some foot worship.
Get ready. Allie, I love this for you. I mean, it starts with massage.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had your feet massaged?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go get some massages. Feel what it's like, and then talk through it.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like the pressure on your insole? Do you like your toes massage?
Yeah.
Is it more like your calves? What is it?
Yeah.
Where are you feeling tense? Give a great massage. It can start with like a little pampering, like a warm towel, cleaning the feet, making sure the person is sitting comfortably and relaxed. If you really think about it as worship, then you're like approaching your queen.
Yeah.
So like with reverence.
That's really cool. Tattoo Mania, thanks for the $10. Hi, guys. And Miss Sophia, stunning, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I am so happy to see you on stream. As someone in the lifestyle, I am beyond thrilled. Question for you. I am a bi bratty sub LG and in an 8-year relationship, newly married. My husband isn't dominant. Is it possible to educate him? Can you tell us what bi bratty sub IG LG means?
LG, probably little girl.
Okay. What does that mean?
So you can inhabit a character of a younger person in kink.
Yeah.
So like, I'm a bratty little girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that.
Okay. Noted. Okay.
Yeah, it's possible to educate. Again, start with being vulnerable. Why
Yeah.
do you like this thing? What does it make you feel? Why is it something you want to do with your partner? Like when you say, hey, I have this kink and I really want to do it specifically with you, I mean, that can be a bonding experience.
Yeah. And I think also like the longest roads start with a single step. Like don't expect someone who hasn't played with dominance or submission to be able to do it like a lot. I don't know. Like many actions. Yeah. It's like I think like any personality play, I feel like it starts with like very small steps. Like, you know, do it for like a moment, right?
Yeah, and like what I describe, I teach female domination workshops is like, this is Los Angeles, guys. Like a lot of us are in the industry. We play for a living. So you think of a scene as just that. Think of it like a movie scene. A 1-act play, 2-act play, 3-act, whatever. What are your roles? Who are these characters? What are the costumes? What's the script? What kind of language do you use with each other?
Yeah.
Like, be creative, have fun.
Yeah. It's a little improv.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes, it is possible to train. Start small. Marvel Simtrust says, is it common for a dom to suddenly want to give up their role, whether it's for one session or forever?
Yeah, being a professional dom is very challenging.
Why?
I don't know if this person is lifestyle or professional. It's spicy work, and you're constantly being bombarded with men's desires. So you have to be able to navigate unwanted attention. You have to be able to navigate potentially abusive kinds of behavior towards you. Then you're thinking about the business side of it too. So it's a very complex type of work. People don't always think about that. You're an entrepreneur. You work for yourself. You only eat what you kill. And you also want to keep to your own standards and boundaries. And people will constantly be trying to push those.
Yeah, and I feel like in like life in general, people are pushing your boundaries, but I feel like this is one where the boundary push can be more extreme.
Right, because there aren't any rules.
Yeah.
And there's no oversight. And
besides the ones you establish.
Yeah. But there's no other, committee that's going to come in and say, well, actually, under OSHA law.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's the Wild West.
Yeah. So we have one more story, and we're going to get back into it. All right. So my dominatrix friend hates me because I stole one of her clients.
Bad form.
All right. So I, 28 male, made friends with this dude, 28 male, from my running club. I'm also friends with 28 female who works as a dominatrix, no spicy sleep involved, and we can call her Chloe. Well, for a while, I didn't realize this, but my friend, 28 male, we will call Carl, was one of her top clients and would fork out a lot of cash. As I got closer to him, he confided in me that this side of him was ruining his life and self-esteem, not to mention his wallet, though he hid it well, I guess. He had never told anyone about this stuff. By the way, this comes from a throwaway account, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And today we have an actual dominatrix with us, Sophia, who will be giving her opinions as someone in the industry. So my dom friend slipped up when we were hanging out because she started talking about one of her clients, which I'm sure you're not supposed to do. Is that true?
No, as long as you keep their identity concealed, you should have people you can talk to about your client.
Yeah, but it should be done in a confidential way.
Yeah.
But she was wasted. The way she described small details of him, I realized it might be Carl. She was talking about how much money he forks out to her, that it was so much. And I asked Carl about the Dommy visits, and he confirmed it was her. I told her that I know Carl, and she seemed surprised, but okay. Well, Carl asked me to help him curb his habit. So I told Chloe that maybe she should stop seeing him, but she refused and stressed how much money he brings in. I was a bit disappointed in her. Maybe I was seeing things in black and white. So the kind of, I think the question is like, what point do you try to, I guess, like at what point do you make sure that your services are helping more than they're hurting?
That's very important for me because I do get approached by men who have compulsions and addictions in the spicy realm, and it doesn't feel good to reinforce or encourage that. I even had one client just online, not someone I was seeing in person, asked me to help him overeat and get fatter. Like, of course I said no. There's like no amount of money where I want to help someone damage themselves. So, yeah, it's an ethical issue.
Yeah.
But I don't know what their conversation was, the dom and client.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I think it can be, again, like you just want to have communication through all of these parties to see what is best for everyone. Well, I just made it my mission to uplift Carl. I always prided myself on being a positive and uplifting person. I became his gym buddy and started organizing more runs with him and meeting up with him more to see how he's doing mentally and just all around being there for him. But also giving him tough love by acting as an accountability partner, which again, like maybe this dom isn't doing that for this guy, but in terms of like doms in general, like you were saying, like they can be accountability buddies. They can offer like services that like help with just like, mapping out your inner mentality.
Yeah, regulation, moderation. Sometimes someone is too far on the beta side of things in their own life. They don't dom themselves. And so they're like, Mommy, can you fix it? Do everything for me. Tell me what to do. And like that can be like become a codependent relationship. You could be enabling someone's like bad behavior towards themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not ethical to take money to do that. But if they say, actually, in a consensual way, I want to be tormented or humiliated, then that is ethical.
Yeah.
So without knowing their conversations, it's hard to cast judgment.
So I would ask him from time to time whether he is watching porn because we agreed we would both undergo nofap. I undertook this thing so he wouldn't feel alone. In doing that, by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. So going back to the story, months went by and he turned his life around. He stopped seeing doms and watching any porn. Dude's doing quite well now with the ladies. But the thing is, I never told Chloe that it was me who helped him with this. She asked me what happened to Carl and was just talking about how she realized just how much of her income came from him. I told her everything. She got angry and called me an a-hole and asked me why I did this and why I didn't tell her about it. I said, you never asked. Now she's not speaking to me. Maybe I did interfere with their lives and maybe I'm an a-hole because I saw things in black and white, but I sort of saw this as a good thing. Is this the end of this friendship? What should I do next? So again, as a dom, as someone who has helped a lot of people with this kind of work, what would you say to OP about what they should do next?
I think the dom has to take responsibility for herself. If she was fostering self-abuse with this man, and also she was not actually managing her client list well, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like that's a bad investment. Like diversify, have multiple clients.
Yeah, let alone on the business side. You need to make sure you have more clients than just one.
Yeah, and we lose clients all the time.
Yeah. What's like your turnover usually?
Sometimes I get what I call tourists, and they're like, "Oh, I've never tried this thing, and I want to do it with you."
Yeah.
And they try that thing, and they're like, "Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm good." Or I get out of town clients. So I never expect that they owe me, a lifelong contract.
Yeah.
For example.
Do you have clients that have been like coming to you for like a long time too?
I just became a pro dom in 2022.
2022. Okay, so it's relatively recent.
Yeah. But I do what I find most often is I may not see them for a little while, and they always resurface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that I think is a 5-star review. So anything else that you would say to this person in terms? So you mentioned the business side, but how about like how should you think this person feel about like their relationship with this friend that's a dom, and also like them helping out this person?
Yeah, I think that he was kind of caught in the middle, right? Wanting to help the guy improve his life, but also caring about the dom's feelings. And there should have been more communication. If she won't talk to him, there's really not much he can do. I think that I understand his perspective, and I think the dom will probably just have to learn from this.
Yeah. So that is where that story ends. But I want some stories from a professional dominatrix, Sophia. Could you maybe tell me about like your first dom experience? Like like either your first dom experience or your first like time that you had an official client, for like some of the first, because I imagine those are the most emotionally tumultuous, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in scary ways. And yeah, I would be curious about some of those stories.
My first client, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
How did you get your first client?
I built a website, which I did in my former life. My profession was media, marketing, journalism, filmmaking, all of these.
I feel like that probably helps the dom career as well.
It does. You're constantly creating an image of yourself as a dom, and like I enjoy that part. I enjoy the creativity. Anyway, I built everything, and I was like fresh meat in the market. So I got a lot of inquiries, a lot of good Jewish boys.
Interesting.
Which is a through line.
Wait, why?
Even now. Oh, the Jewish mom. It keeps coming back to that.
Really?
She has a major role in his life.
Yeah.
And so they would seek me for the maternal side.
Yeah.
But like the hot, mean mom.
Yeah.
So that was the nature of this client, but he'd never seen a dom. So it was kind of like dealer's choice.
Wait, but how did he know he was like interested in that?
Probably corn.
Yeah.
You know, you see something and you're like,
what
oh,
is that?
that speaks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for men always having to be tough or dominant or even macho because of your culture, they're like, please, I want a relief from that just for a couple hours. Yeah, so he came over and I taught him submissive positions, which is how my sessions always begin.
What is that?
Would you like to learn?
Sure.
We promised the people.
Okay.
We promised the people.
What is that?
Okay, so position 1, you would come before me and sit here, tuck your legs under your body. Good, good. And face me. And then hands on the thighs and then head down. And then I would tell you to breathe. Out through your mouth. Get relaxed. Drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders. Relax. And now breathe. And then audibly out through your mouth. 2 more. Good. This is position 1. And these are specific to me. Yeah. This is how I like to get someone into subspace. Okay, now scoot back a little. Position 2, I want you to turn yourself into a table. Or a dog. I was being nice by saying table. Good. Good. All right, relax this. Now imagine you're such a good table that my drink could safely. Oh wow, what a good table. This would be a martini if we were at Domton. Like a good table. You're a great table. Look at that. Now, if we were in a dynamic and we agreed to it, I would be spanking you. I would be messing with you. Yeah.
But tell me, what's the hardest you spank?
Well, I mean, from this angle, not great. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 is no pain and 10 is a lot of pain. What can you tolerate?
I don't know. Give me a 7.
No, that's so high.
Wow. All right.
All right, give him a 7.
Wow. Good boy.
He said he could do a 10.
All right, here we go. You're a little padded, but I think you do like pain.
Okay.
All right.
So questions from some fans. September says, I, 39 female, have always been into being a submissive. I have had 2 relationships with a dom and I loved it, but how do I get my vanilla boyfriend, 38 male, into being dominant to me? We have been together since 2017, so almost 8 years. I can't get him to be into it. He says his mother taught him to never be mean to a woman. He has never laid a hand on me, but I just want him to be a little bit more dominant with me. So our spicy wrestling under the covers is very vanilla. It's starting to make me not want him to touch me. How do I get him to compromise with me? Because if something doesn't change, it will be the end. I can't take it much more. And we have another one, but yeah.
Super relatable. A lot of women want to be handled. They want to be properly topped. And if the man has some association with abuse, then it's understandable why he's saying absolutely not. To her, I would say do a little to him. Show him with your own 2 hands what it is you want.
Yeah.
He might like it too.
Great advice. Sherry asks, what do you want people to understand about being a dominatrix, especially assumptions that most people get wrong?
That it's all about being cold and mean, because obviously I take it on as play. I've always been creative and playful, and so this is just the expression of that.
And Jamba Juice says, I, 26 female, have been interested in this field of work for a while and find it quite interesting, but I'm concerned about the risks involved with it. What's the riskiest part about this job, and how can I get started in the safest way possible?
Find a mentor or several. Start as a lifestyle dom, meaning you don't take money. You just perfect your craft with other humans who enjoy your dominance. And go slow. Don't endanger yourself. If you're going to be alone with someone new, make sure you have some protections built in. It's just like dating. It's not necessarily more dangerous at all.
Mad Alice says, my boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 29 female, are both switches, but are both new to balancing each other out. I'm not comfortable being dominant because I've been shamed for it. My boyfriend wants me to peg him, but doesn't give me the chance to. How do I go about being more dominant and letting him be comfortable in his subspace to be able to deliver on his desire?
Again, what is dominance and submission? You know, besides pegging. Pegging, people think that it's automatically being submissive, but it's really just a top or bottom situation. So dominance and submission is more psychological. Do you want someone telling you what to do, or do you want someone physically controlling your body? Like, which is it? So communicate.
What do we do with these grapes?
You can feed me those grapes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we can get banned for that.
We can't
can
get
we?
banned for that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get picked up by the Food Network.
All right. Well, we'll do the outro while I feed some grapes.
Higher.
Higher? Right here?
Now perfectly lower 1 grape into my mouth.
Like that?
If you love us, make sure to subscribe. This has been another episode of OK Storytime, and we'll see you in the next one.